Well, joining us now, two of our political analysts, former Mayor Lori Lightfoot and former Alderman Leslie Hairston. So Chris just mentioned Tim Walz, the star of the show tonight. Leslie, starting with you, what does he need to do to really win over voters, and what pitfalls does he need to avoid?
Well, I think one of the things is he appears to be the regular guy, the average guy, the teacher, the coach, somebody that you want to take to lunch, somebody you want to take out for a beer, right? That's what people in Minnesota have been telling me. You know, he's that guy. So I think what he's going to want to do is introduce himself and then set up what his values are and how they are like ours, and like how he is like us. And he's going to talk about education. He's going to talk about his family. He's going to talk about raising a family. He's going to talk about the cost of things and how much it costs to raise a family. I think that's what we're going to be looking for.
Mayor, do you think it's more personality or more policy tonight?
No, I think it's more personality. He's still introducing himself to the country. But I think Alderwoman Hairston's 1,000% right. He is the everyman. I grew up with guys like Tim Walz, and they were the people that you relied upon when you were coming through school and you're having some challenges. The coach that rallied you, the teacher that really saw something in you and gave you that spark to really pursue higher education. He's that guy, and I think he's comfortable in his own skin. He's going to tell his story, but he's also going to tell why he believes that this ticket and Kamala Harris in particular is the right leader for this moment.
All right, we have just one thing we want to get to, and then we have to move on. But, of course, some of the big news coming out today is that RFK Jr. will be dropping out and potentially endorsing former President Donald Trump. Your thoughts on that, Mayor?
I think it's predictable. You know, the fact that he is essentially trying to bargain a quid pro quo, give me a cabinet position, give me a senior advisor position, and then I'll drop out and endorse you. I think there's a lot of ethical issues related to that. But if you look at his politics, where he is on vaccines and a range of other things, he is so closely aligned to Trump. And frankly, you know, you think about the things that have been said about him by his own family, their backgrounds, their worldview, very closely aligns.
All right. Thank you.
No loss to the Democrats.
Okay, that was the question. Who does it hurt or help more? All right.